there's a couple of things I want to share with you. I have a gift for you guys here. I'll figure out how to get this to you. I'll get it to Deanna. I teach a little thing called Stick Factor, which is how to get things to stick. I'll just give it to you. But one of the techniques inside of that is when you learn something, a lot of times we don't know where to put it, and we put it in our desktop. Like, how many of you ever downloaded something before and just put it on your desktop? Couldn't find it. Okay, because you looked in your downloads and it was on your desktop. Anyone ever done this? Even though your search, like Apple's got everything down, but their search feature is not that great. Google, search feature, but I'm an Apple guy. What, same team, right? Yeah, cool, I got it. Any Samsung people here? Fuckers. Okay, but what's interesting about it is, if you put something where it doesn't belong, you're not going to know where to find it or how to use it appropriately later. So if I could give you a gift, and if it works for half of you right away, that's great. And if the other half of you, it works for tomorrow, that's fine also. Got to really pay attention to how I do this stuff, because it's about to get real in here. And I want you to really pay attention to the language, because this morning was kindergarten. I just moved to residency at Harvard. Okay? So we're getting real. And so what I mean by that is, one of the things that I've recognized is when you put things where you don't know where they go, you don't get what you need, and I want to help you get what you need. So what I typically like to do is I like to leave the event but stay in my seat. And one of the ways I do that is if you get something you like and I shared something good, what John wants to do is just literally have no guilt and no obligation, in his chair, just go, got it. Let me put that at my next meeting right now and put myself using that. I believe in a little something called the 1% advantage, which means that if it's a possibility that it could make a difference, it makes a difference. So I believe that if I can I believe all these skills that I have, that if I can use them by 1%, and that 1% makes a difference, I'm up on you guys every single time. Now I'm about a 25% advantage, because I know the material, wrote the material, it's my building, all that kind of stuff. But the real advantage I have is 1%, and I'm gonna explain this very simply. I play Monopoly, and many of you have heard me share this story before, and it's very important to understand this story, because I will beat any of you in here at Monopoly any day of the week. I will absolutely put money down that I will destroy any of you here in Monopoly. You have no chance of beating me at all, and I will beat you at what you think is a game of chance. Because you think it's a game of chance, I don't think it's a game of chance. I think it's a game of choice. And some of you are like, how the hell are you going to beat me in Monopoly? It's the roll of the dice. Let me prove something to you that's very different. You play to play, I play to win. What's the name of the game? What's it called? Monopoly. Monopoly. Think about this for a second. So what is Monopoly? What is Monopoly? Your goal is to get what? 3 properties. Not every property. 3 properties so you can what? Buy hotels and buy houses. Your game is not to buy every property. That's where everybody thinks that. You're taking advice from your drunk neighbor that doesn't know anything, okay? So when I play Monopoly, I throw the dice, and if you're on Oriental and I land on a property next to it, immediately I'll buy it, but I'm going to mortgage it immediately. And the reason I mortgage it immediately is the property's useless. I'm not playing the game to win $7. I'd rather have the $100 back. So I buy the property, block your ass, do you understand? And then I have the $100 back, because I'm waiting to get 3 of these in a row. Boardwalk, everybody thinks they want. Boardwalk is the stupidest property to own in the game. It's high rent district, and there's 2 opportunities to land on it. So if you understand gambling at all, that the odds of landing on 2 versus 3 is not as effective. So I let everyone else have those because they're so expensive. They're high rent district. I'm not going to get those right away. I want to get you by law of attrition. So I'm going to play the game very different than you. I'm going to mortgage properties, because let's just say I buy that property and I mortgage it. Immediately afterwards, what's going to happen is, if you need to buy that from me or I get in a bad spot, even if you buy that from me, you're buying something mortgaged. I'm still going to cause you, like, yeah, you might buy it from me, but you still got to unmortgage it, okay? And I have cash in hand. Number 3 thing I do, which is silly, but I've taught this to my kids, is I pick what I want the dice to be before I play. And I roll, and if I want an 11 or a 7, I ask for it. Most people go, I hope I get it. I trigger in my brain what I want in advance. Now, how many of you have done this before? You've thought about somebody and they either Facebooked you or called you. How many of you have dealt with that? You know what I'm talking about. What if you did that all the time and it worked more often for you than most people? What if as you threw something, you're like, I'll take a 6. I used to beat everyone, and my daughter actually did beat me, my teenager, because she actually followed the rules. And now she asks for what she wants, she asks for what she wants, and more times than not, she'll go doubles, 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 and she'll roll 3 doubles in a row. Then she had learned, she went to jail, and then we'd learn only ask for 2, and we had to ask for this. But why I'm telling you this is, what if this is right 1% of the time? What if I did it all the time? and I actually had one advantage up. What if only you walked into a situation and said, what state am I in, what state are they in? 1% advantage. What if instantly you understood very simply, wait a second, who are the people that are influencing this person? What is their identity about themselves? What do they want? What don't they want? And you understood this. So the 1% advantage is, if you use any of these techniques, you get a 1% advantage. Use 5 of these techniques, you get a 5% advantage. I want you to walk into all settings, deciding what you want to advance, knowing what state you're in, knowing what state they're in. Here's the learning advantage. I'm going to backtrack and go back to what I was sharing earlier. When you learn something, John, you want to find a way to use that next week. You want to put it where it belongs. I'm going to file the stuff correctly, because when I had that thing up here, which I erased, where I talked about state, do you understand that inside of your brains right now is your relationship? If you're not with the person that you love and they're not here, how you communicate about them, there's one sign that's missing outside. The sign that says your future hinges on your ability to effectively communicate. That's important. The other sign that's missing is the one that says all life is held in the context of communication. So when you have thoughts, words, and ideas about your relationship, those are how the relationship is going to show up probably again next time you see it. The words that you describe your relationship with your children, the words that you describe to your business, whether it's a struggle or it's easy or it's hard, these words have emotions and meanings, and most of us are influencing ourselves incorrectly. Your biggest challenge, if I were to say, is we got to get really clear on what it is we're marketing. Clarity is going to make it easy. You don't have a sales issue, you have a clarity challenge. Clarity we can fix. You don't have a sales problem, which is fantastic. It's a clarity issue. Because once you design the clarity, that's when things are going to start to change for you. Okay? So when you learn something cool, you could say, God, he's good. Man, that's great. Yeah, Mike's like, I'll take all that. I don't need that shit. What I need is this. Wait a second. I want to find out how he's doing that. Wait a second. I want to get that good. I want to get that. I'd like to understand that. I want to be able to figure this out. So part of the getting this stuff to stick is not to be enamored by it, is just, let's just call it what it is. I've dedicated 20 years of my life to doing this. You haven't. You've been doing this 4 hours. Okay, that's a big difference. You're good at what you do, I'm great at what I do. The difference is, if you change your perspective and where you frame this right now, I came here today to become more influential. I didn't come here to learn stuff. I didn't came here to learn a hack. I came here to commit to becoming more influential than I already am. What's amazing is you will hear me differently today. Your frame of reference for our entire communication from this point forward will be different. Because, let me ask all of you a question. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, your phone rings. Old school. Any of you are older than 30, phone with a cord, next to the bed, you're a parent. Your phone rings 3 o'clock in the morning. Is that a good phone call? Nothing good about that phone call. Police on the other end of the phone said there's been an accident. Everyone will be okay if you pay attention. How many of you realize you literally would be so honed in, it wouldn't matter what was going on, your mortgage, your bills, your problems, your business, you're in that phone call. How many of you get that? Navy SEALs, and I know I've worked with enough of them, and I've had a couple of them coming to my next event, and they're interested in learning what we're doing. What they have figured out, they've made it do that, okay? It's powerful. There's no clouds in Arizona except for when War Room comes to town. And they bring with the clouds, they bring power, okay? And one of the things that I recognized is, what Navy SEALs realized is, they'll get a call a day or two before they need to go on a mission and not be told exactly where they're going, but they say, you need to know everything about France or Afghanistan in about a day. Come back in a day knowing everything about it, and they have a way of system of learning everything about it. Enough about the language, enough about the currency, enough about the people, how to get out of trouble, understand where the LZ is. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. You've seen enough either Netflix or you've been to war. What's interesting is we know these things and they know how to do it because they know how to go where they need to go to learn. So inside of all of you, what I'm doing with you right now is what you have to do with your people as well that you're working with. Inside of all of you is a technique on how to retain, learn, and utilize. You don't have to look for it. You just have to activate it. And I'm going to tell you that every one of you inside has an ability to activate a program like that. And if you do it, you're going to be amazed what happens. You'll fall in it, you'll fall out of it. It is a very different perspective. So when you ask people to watch your video or to read your email, you can say there's 2 ways to read this email. One is just to read it and hope to get it. Number 2 is to pay attention. That story that I just shared a couple seconds ago can be rewritten by any of you. How many of you recognize, imagine the phone rings at 3 o'clock in the morning. Does everyone realize that you could use that story for your business? Because that story was designed to get you to pay what? Attention. And I'm speaking the truth right now. And one part I want all of you to get is, I'd love all of you to truly, truly understand that if you want to create change, if you want to create real big change in yourself and be more influential, you've got to be here as a different kind of person. The person you got to be here as, and I would be very frank about this, if you're here to get the hack, you'll miss it. But if you're here to go, you know what, I'm going to own this shit, and I'm going to get it, you'll be amazed what happens for the rest of the day and tomorrow. So here's the selfish thing I'm going to ask for. This is going to change you. When it does, or you find something that you like, all I'm going to ask for is you to give yourself a gift, not me. And here's the gift I want you to figure out. What did you learn out of what it is that you got? And then later today, give a testimonial for what you learned to reinforce it in the real world. Not for me. I don't get these. This is for War Room and the crew. But I want you to talk about what you got out of it, because when you make it real that you got something out of it, now it's yours. It's your responsibility to do something with it. So you can stop making a testimonial only about giving to others and start making it about giving to yourself. What are you going to get so you can give a stellar testimonial? How many of you understand that? So when you start asking people for testimonials, tell them the greatest gift that you can give. You guys can definitely do this in your business, is a testimonial, because it's testimonial to yourself of what you got out of this. We'll take the extra benefit, but you're owning to the world what you've done. So I just wanted to share that with you as a side note.